I came out here with I only had 1,500 left to my name. All right, and with that money, I had to, you know, find a place to rent. You know, leave a deposit, find a place to rent. I needed to, you know, again, buy food. I needed to move around. Again, for anyone that's ever doing anything like this, you know that the first few days, the first few weeks, or whatever it is, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And why is it going to be a lot more difficult? Because, well, you're getting to learn the lay of the land. So you might take the wrong bus, you know, or you might get an Uber to the wrong part of town, and you might spend all this time and money that you don't have. And you're going to make mistakes like that. A lot of times you're going to be thinking, oh, they scammed me. No, they didn't scam you. You just don't know what's going on. Eventually you learn, and eventually, you know, things start working in your favor. Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a little trip down memory lane, and I'm going to be telling you exactly how I came out here with only 1,500 US dollars left to my name, and I survived. I made it. In fact, you know, I'm here 6.5 years later, and you know, I'm going to talk to you guys I'm going to tell you guys how I did it, and we're going to talk about, you know, well, what I've been up to, and how I actually made it through the last 6.5 years out here, how I survived, how you can do it or not do it. Because again, when a lot of people find out exactly how it's done or what happened, you know, a lot of people realize it might not be for them, and a lot of people might say, time for an adventure, let's do it. All right, so we're starting off here at this tiendita, which literally is the first tiendita I ever came to when I moved to Merida. And why was that? Well, when I first moved out here, I moved into an Airbnb, and I lived in that Airbnb, which is right around the corner to where the bus is. So we're gonna go out there, and I'm gonna show you exactly where that Airbnb is, and we're gonna be walking down my old stomping grounds. And like I said, we're gonna take a little trip down memory lane. So for the old viewers out there that have been around for the long time, well, this is gonna be a great video for you as well, because not only do you get to you know, hear the story again, but besides hear the story again, you know, we're gonna be taking a little trip down memory lane and walking and talking. Well, during the first ever walks and talks, we're gonna kind of recreate the first ever walks and talks I ever did when I moved out here. Now, I came out here, right now it's like around 11 o'clock, and the reason I came out here around 11 o'clock in the morning today is because I thought this was not going to be any traffic, but unfortunately it's a lot of traffic, which is fine. It seems like there's a lot more traffic here these days, look at that, bruh, than there was when I first moved out here. And when I first moved out here, I also remember there was a lot of traffic, and it's on this particular street. And why is that? Well, because this particular street here actually leads right to Centro. We are in Centro. In fact, down this block going forward, once people own a building and decide to renovate it, they have to renovate it under certain circumstances, that in certain they have to meet certain requirements in order for the old colonial style to stay alive and all that stuff. So this is why also you're going to see a lot of buildings out here that are still not developed, simply because of that. All right, this is where I first ever stayed, and I distinctly remember there was never this much traffic right out front of here. So definitely a lot more traffic these days. Hola, buenos días. A lot of friendly people. But anyways, this one, the blue building, this blue building, that's where I first stayed. And when I first moved here, you know, I set up my camera right there. Again, there was no traffic, and I was able to film, you know, this kind of like panning shot here. But again, it goes to show you, again, we talked about how things have changed here in previous videos, and in future videos we're going to talk about that more, about how things have changed out here in Merida. But long story short, traffic is one of them, and this is again another prime example. But yeah, long story, this is where I stayed. and they still have it on Airbnb. I was the first ever person to stay here. I don't know if it's the same owner or not. Either way, this was not here. Looks all nice. The other building is all nice. There used to be a musician, a guy that repaired musical instruments down over there. He's not there anymore apparently. But anywho, let's keep walking and talking. So the reason I started out at that tiendita was because I remember when I first moved out here, again, it was a reality check. This is, I got here at night, and it seemed like I was in a third world country. And hey guys, I know you guys probably can't see me right now, but I just got here a little while ago, a couple hours ago, and then all of a sudden I wake up in the morning and this is what I see. Now again, not this much traffic. The traffic was more up there, but it seems like, again, as we were saying, we just increased. Bueno, yes, just like the popularity, the population, and so many things have increased here, like the price and the cost of living, to name a few things. All right, but anyways, there's a very famous church. Let's not get run over here because we're in the middle of traffic. So let's go this way and not get run over. But anyways, this store was here. So yeah, I came out here, and when I first came out here, and this was my first experience here. This is my first introduction to Mexico. I mean, I've been to Tijuana a few times, but as a tourist, and nothing more than that. There's like a school here for the kids, taekwondo over there. I remember a lot of these things were exactly the same. A lot of things have not changed, but yeah, this church, been here, the church at Lourdes. We are walking down calle 65, so down street 65 here, all right, and we're making our way down at Centro. And so yeah, we're re-stepping my first steps when I first moved to Mexico. When I first moved to Merida, as I was saying, when I first moved out here, I moved, I've never really been this deep into Mexico, sight unseen. And so when I came out here, I was not expecting a lot of things that I was seeing and experiencing, and most of them were good, but a lot of them took a while to get used to, and not everybody usually gets used to this. Now, by the way, there's a reason why I haven't come down the street in many years, and I see why now. It's because of the traffic. I'm always obviously avoiding it. Anywho's, it's very loud. I want to keep retracing my steps. It's very loud out here, but I want to keep stepping my steps, retracing my steps. But I think I'm gonna have to go down another street because it's very loud and very congested out here. So I want to make sure that you guys can not only hear me, but you guys have something better to see than just a bunch of traffic. And I can be a little bit more focused on the video here and not so distracted. Trying not to get run over myself here. And but anywho's, the reason we started off over there at the little tiendita was because that was my first real experience. All right, so again, just crazy traffic. So we're gonna go on ahead and just take down this street. See, a lot quieter. All right, and now we can think. So we're just gonna go down this block and then just make a right. Not much to see here. So yeah, as I was saying, guys, the reality is that when I first came out here, I was in a major shock. I'm sure, just like if you're still watching the video at the moment, you're probably in a little bit of a shock too, with all the traffic and all the overwhelming sights and sounds. And at first, when I first moved out here, it was actually like this, nice and quiet and chill. And it wasn't until I went to Centro, which we're gonna go to in a second, that I really got the reality check of like, oh man, this place is very different, very different. It wasn't just walking around here. So when I first came out here, it was very difficult to survive. It was very difficult for me to make it out here, but I was able to do it because I put a lot of work and effort, and it took a lot of grit to really be able to do it again. Before I left Los Angeles, okay? Now, the reason I had to leave Los Angeles, again, it's a super long story. I'm not gonna bore you guys too much with it here. But the reality is that when I was in Los Angeles, basically I didn't have much of a choice, but I had to leave. And because I was living with a bunch of roommates, and those roommates all decided to go back home. They gave up on the dream, the whole Los Angeles Hollywood dream, and basically I only had like a few weeks left to find another place to rent. All right, here it goes. Things are looking nicer again, so let's move the camera around here. But anyways, and so, you know, as I was trying to figure out where I was gonna go, where I was gonna land, what was the place I was gonna end up in, and so on and so forth, I couldn't find anywhere. There was just nowhere at all for me to land. And so therefore, you know what I mean, I had only a few choices left, which was couch surf on my friends' couches. I wasn't gonna do that. Living out of my car, that was only, you know, limited time only. You know, I knew that my car and you know, certain other aspects of you know, the vehicle per se, you know what I mean, like they weren't gonna last much longer than a few more months. So I knew that I was gonna end up on the street eventually. And even if I had a job or got work or whatever it is. All right, so now we're gonna be walking down this street. I think this is 63. We'll confirm it in a second when I find the street sign. In fact, let's walk on the other side so I don't fry my brain over here. So I didn't have much of a choice, so I came out here and I moved out here because I said, oh wow, oh, this is very nice. Hola, buenos días. This is like a giant you know, warehouse, kind of like a Home Depot type thing. Sell a lot of wood and materials. Gracias. So yeah, when I first came out here, the reality is that like all right, wait, hold on, a little sidetrack. So anyway, so I didn't have much of a choice but to move out here. Now, when I first moved out here to Merida 6.5 years ago, this was the most inexpensive place to live in Mexico. All right, this was the most inexpensive, the most the cheapest, you know, the most affordable city, major city in Mexico. So I was like, all right, I came out here, and the main reason I came out here at first was just to save on cost of living, because I figured, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to work Uber in Mexico, because then I did Uber in LA and I did side gigs, you know, making videos and photography and editing and things like that, and that's how I was able to survive. But out here I wasn't going to be able to Uber, and I would just have to survive. Well, I would have no choice but to survive only on, I'm gonna let these guys through. Anyways, I had no choice but to survive only on They're gonna go or what? Oh man. Anyways, all right, let's go. Otherwise I'll be waiting there all day. Well, yes. Anyways, and so yeah, like I didn't really have much of a choice. You know, when I had to find housing, when I had to find a place to live. So that's why I decided to come out to Mexico, because again, I started looking out here as to what I could rent, again, many years ago. And I realized, you know, the cost of living was a lot more affordable here. And I already knew Spanish, and I figured, well, I'm not going to work in Mexico. I already work online for others, you know, editing videos, you know, doing all kinds of gigs like that when it came to, you know, making social media videos and posts and all that stuff. By the way, those are fireworks, you know, they're listening to. Very friendly. I'm trying to show you guys inside some of the businesses and homes out here as much as I can. But anyways, right now we're at the end of December here. Not quite sure when you're going to be watching this. There's a lot of music being played right now. Hopefully I don't get like demonetized out here. Oh, that's some music. It's a religious thing. All right, all right, all right. So yeah, so it's like a religious thing because right now we are in December and they're celebrating La Virgen de Guadalupe. All right, and so it's you know what I mean, that's what they're celebrating. It's like a whole religious kind of pilgrimage thing where they kind of ride around, you know, honoring the Virgin and all this religious stuff. Okay, but anyways, all right, back to the story here. Yeah, so I came out here and my whole thought, you know, was, all right, I got to keep my costs down as much as possible, and I got to work as hard as I can so that I can continue this crazy stupid dream of making YouTube videos. Because you know, again, it wasn't until very recently where I just started making money off of YouTube and you know, from advertisements or consultations or whatever it is, you know, but up until then I had to figure out, I had to work. Well, yes, I had to work and I had to do things. So I would be making my videos basically daily almost, and on top of making my daily videos and my walks, you know, through basically these same exact streets, you know, again, just taking a trip down memory lane here for some of you guys that remember. And hola, buenos días. Buenos días. So yeah, long story short, you know what I mean, for those of you guys, yeah, so that's what I had to do. So my cost of living was very small. You know, my rent was around $200 for a 1-bedroom townhouse apartment, whatever, and that was great for a single guy. It was furnished and it came with a lot of amenities, and it was right by Paseo Montejo. In fact, right now where I started and where I stayed in my, you know, where this Airbnb was, that's a lot closer to where I live now. Okay, so in fact, you know, and for me to start the video, I just walked from my house to the location, and then we started doing the video. But anyways, as you guys can see, as we're getting close to its Centro, it's a lot more traffic already starting to pile up. Now I think we're gonna end up popping out of behind the Mercados de Galvez, which again, I made a video out here very recently with David. I'll link that at the end in case you want to see what the market looks like. And we're going to be going back again because it seems like the market is even bigger than what we originally showed you. Oh, in fact, out here, through here, this is the main market. Hola, buenos días. Oh, here's a main market. See, again, this is, you know, downtown back roads. So again, you can only imagine what I was thinking. Imagine what you're thinking now. But yeah, down that little road back there is, or you know what, might as well show you because we're already here. This is, I don't know if they're still open. They should be, it's still early enough. But back here is you know, the main central hub, where everything shows up. So as you guys can see, people are leaving here, okay, with all the oranges or all the lemons or all the greens, peppers. Okay, all right, there's music back here, music. All right, see, there you go. So being Christian, a lot of times, this is where we would come and buy here. It's a market. All right. All right, see a little market here. I'm not gonna go in there because of the music, but you guys can figure it out. You know, we've been through many market tours out here. But yeah, this is where, you know, you get the cheapest. This is even cheaper than the market that we showed you in the video. But you gotta come out here. Many times you gotta buy in bulk and things like that. But either way, you know, if you can finagle, you speak the language, you can definitely get good deals. But yeah, they sell individuals, they sell all kinds of things, so it's all good. Hola, buenos días. So everybody's you know, basically taking their break and getting ready, you know, to go back, you know, to the granja, you know, or basically, or you know, wherever they brought all that stuff from, because everybody comes from the pueblos early in the morning, and they unload all their stuff here for sale, and then from here it just gets dispersed through the markets and throughout the city and so on and so forth. So, you know, if you want to get the best prices on anything, period, no matter where you're at, especially in Mexico, you want to come to the Central Market de Abasto, Central Market. So, and that's where we're coming through. So, you know, we're gonna go back to now the main street where all the traffic was. Seems like traffic has cleared up, so we'll just go back there. All right, but yeah, so, you know, I came out here and basically my whole idea was that I just needed a roof. I needed a roof so that I can continue you know, working and at the same time, you know, perhaps even saving a few bucks, you know, $5, you know, whatever, but anything. And I was able to do that here, you know, because I was able to work hard enough. I already knew what my bills were going to be, give or take. You know, they were very set. And because again, I already had my set rent, my set bills. The only thing that would vary a little bit, yeah, so I guess it was like some sort of accident or something, because like there's no traffic here, because all the traffic was on that street. So who knows what's going on. Either way, we got a little lucky. Hola, buenos días. We ended up where I wanted to come down anyway. So over here, again, this is La Casa del Pueblo, and I remember again when I first moved out here, I've talked about it multiple times. This spot here in particular, they were about to have the elections, because again, it was 6.5 years ago, and we just had elections here half a year ago, you know, because they have elections here every 6 years. So long story short, I moved here right before the election of AMLO, and right now we're only a few months into Claudia Sheinbaum's government. But yeah, this is where they held the activities there. But yeah, long story short, you know, it just took a lot of work and a lot of effort. Like again, this is, you know, where I was living. This is the roads and the streets that I was walking every single day. Every day when I needed food, when I needed anything, you know what I mean? I would have to come down this street, walk down this street. I cannot afford an Uber. I cannot afford, you know, a taxi to just walk a few minutes. And by the way, it's hot now and we're in winter. When I came out here, it was the middle of summer. So yeah, very hot. In fact, so hot, you know, just like my camera now is getting overheated. So we're gonna be changing the battery real soon. But as I was saying, you know what I mean, I came out here and these are the streets that I would walk in. This is the things that I would be seeing. It was even more intense. There was even more people out. It was even more, again, Merida is what we used to know of back in the day. And again, because it was 6.5 years ago, you know, there was no buses like this. You know, all the buses were the old buses. There was tons of pollution everywhere, tons of, even louder than this bus, and I could go on and on. So a lot of changes out here, tons of changes out here. And but the point I'm making is that for a lot of people, you know, they'll come out here and you know, with a similar situation, and they're scared to their britches, and they end up going back home. You know, they end up realizing this is like too much for them to handle. They're not going to really be able to handle this. They're not going to really be able to, you know, living out here, you know, because it's like, it's too difficult to make money online. It's too difficult to live, you know, a certain lifestyle. And you know, for a lot of people, again, they don't want to live this certain lifestyle. You know, the reality is that when life knocks you down and you're all the way on the ground, a lot of times it's not pretty, and it's up to you to get up. Okay, it's up to you to figure it out. And a lot of times, you know, if you can control, you know, if you're in an environment like this, you know, you can control your environment. Again, you're living amongst the people. You're living in a more, again, poor neighborhood, in a more regular neighborhood that a lot of the people that live out here, because remember, I just made a video recently talking about like living out here on $1,000 US, and I got so many Americans and Canadians, you know, saying that they need $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and that this is all lies. But again, this is why I walk through these neighborhoods. I lived in these neighborhoods. I show you these neighborhoods because the reality is that if you want to live out here in $1,000 or less, you got to live like this, and you got to live out here, and you got to do this, all right? And this is not for everybody. For a lot of people, for me it was awesome because I figured out very quickly that this world out here, that everything out here has its charm. And a lot of people, again, once you get that out of your head, the fact that, look, in the USA, if you're gonna live in a neighborhood like this, you're probably gonna get stabbed or robbed, or you're probably gonna, you know, be in a lot more trouble than you are out here. Now, again, in this particular city, things are safe, okay? This is the safest city in all of Mexico. We're in Merida. But the reality is that, you know, even in other cities that are not as safe, you know, you're going to be living in similar neighborhoods. And you know, again, in the USA, for a lot of people, this is, you know, a lot of what they, you know, the only option that they really have. And you know, the reality is that, you know, they're paying through the roof to live out here, when you can actually live out here in another country, in a similar neighborhood or situation like this, and save yourself, you know, like 2-3 times the amount. Now, if you want to come out here and you want to live, you know, the nice fancy schmancy lifestyle, you can have it, but it's going to cost you a few bucks. It's going to cost you some money. And so that's the thing that people don't realize. And when people come out here and they say, oh, but living out here is just as expensive as living in the USA these days. I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to live a certain lifestyle. But if you want to live this lifestyle, the lifestyle that I live with my wife and many Americans and the majority of Mexicans live on a daily basis, then, you know, you got no problem. You got nothing to worry about. You know, the reality is that you're going to love life. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you know what I mean? You're going to need to know things like learning Spanish. You know, you're going to need to learn certain things in order to make life a lot easier out here for yourself. But the reality is that, you know, you got to put in that work, and the more work and effort you put into it, the easier things are going to be. But it's not going to be easy. You just got to remember that. And it's not meant to be easy, because you're starting at the bottom again. If you're living in certain conditions, it's, again, I don't want to know or speculate what your situation was for you to get there, because we all got there at some point. Who knows? But the reality is that this is what you're gonna have to live. And for some people they can embrace it and they love it, and other people, they cannot. It's as simple as that. So, all right, I gotta change the battery up real soon. So let's see if we can make it all the way here through the market. But again, it's coming through here. These are my first days out here. You know, I would come out through here. I would ask these vendors, you know, how much, you know, is these things, you know, whatever it is, you know, whether, you know, they got, you know, fruit, what is it, like they got oranges, margarine, sorry, mandarina is mandarin, you know, but anyways, they got all kinds of things. You know, they got tomatoes, they got peppers, they got pumpkin, they got onions, they got everything. And so basically it's up to you to come through here, talk to the vendors. Sometimes you can do it through sign language. You know, you go to some of these stores over here as well, all right? And you get all your other stuff. And you can buy basically everything you need, everything from toilet paper to things to wash and, you know, wash your clothes, things to wash your hands. You know, again, all the food you need. So you get all the vegetables, you know, again, carrots, potatoes, all your main staples, onions, tomatoes,
I got beans,
potatoes,
greens,
whatever,
potatoes,
spices,
tomatoes, lamb,
you know,
rams,
garlic,
hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rats,
and then you go into the butcher and you get meat. You can get some flowers, you know, for your house, make it look pretty, get a nice shirt, and so on and so forth. So get something to eat while you're here. This is where you're gonna find the cheap, you know, more affordable food. Okay, and so on and so forth. You know, you can come, and now one of the upgrades that they have out here, now they got the bike racks. They did not have bike racks before, you know. So I remember, you know, eventually when I got a bike a few years down the line, because I used to have to walk everywhere, you know, I couldn't find anywhere to park the bike, and you had to like tie it to this, you know, or whatever, anywhere you could find. So all right, guys, well, give me one quick second. I gotta go on ahead real quick, and I gotta change the battery on this bad boy, and so we can continue on this walk and talk. All right, and I can let you know more about, again, what it is to live out here. And again, you saw the police officer. You see it's safe. Again, if you just practice common sense and so on and so forth. Again, if you only have like $1,000 budget anyway a month, where do you think you're going to be living per se in the USA? You know, especially if you don't own a home. So you got to remember that I don't own a home. I rent out here. So I rent, and Christian doesn't bring in any money. I mean, she you know, she works and she has some you know, side hustles and stuff like that, selling shirts and art, but most of that is you know, for her to continue doing what she does, and takes a burden off of me. But it's not, you know, more, you know, like I pay all the bills, all right, and I make like around $1,000 or a little bit more a month, and that's plenty. All right, sure, of course we all want to make more, but all I'm saying is that it can be done. But I still shop out here. I still come out here and I get food, I get seeds for the, you know, whatever. This is where Christian gets some medicine for Gizmo, literally, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, I literally see it right there, which is, in fact, you know, you see like this shampoo, and there was another one. What that's, she comes and buys it out here because it's cheaper out here, okay? Because the other day, I had to buy some emergency meds, you know, for Gizmo. And I was up in the north and I went to PetSmart, okay? I went to, yeah, PetSmart or Petsco or whatever. I went to there and basically they cost me, oh, he was talking on the phone. I thought he was talking to me. Anyways, but yeah, so look, this is a cantina, this is a bar, all right? You guys can see what it looks like. You just walk in there. If you see those like that, that's where you go in and get your drinks. But yeah, as I was saying, and so like yeah, it was like double the price, literally double the price to just get it up in Petco as opposed to getting it here, the same exact medicine. All right, and but I had to get it up there because it was an emergency. I didn't have time to come out here. I was already up there working, doing something else, so I just stopped by and I got it, and that's it. One of these. All right, guys, so I gotta, let me see, I'm trying to find somewhere real quick so I can take a quick break and change the battery and continue on this journey. So, oh, this looks like a nice spot. So this is a grocery store here. Seems like everyone's just chilling here, so we'll just do this, and there's air conditioner in here, so we'll chill here for a quick minute, change the battery, and I'll see you guys in a second once we continue on our journey. Yeah, it's hot. All right, guys, so where were we? Let's get back to our walk and talk. All right, so we just came out of there, the Super Aquí, which is basically a major chain grocery store, and they got a, you know, one out here right by the market, which is where we're gonna go to now. Hola, buenos días. And so yeah, one thing is that, you know, you got to get used to out here is being nice, and everyone's nice as well. So please make sure to smile and say hi and interact with people if you can. But anyways, as I was saying, you know, I don't want to make it seem like I make all of my shopping these days here, because I don't. You know what I mean? The reality is that most of my shopping these days is done in grocery stores like Super Aquí or Chedraui or Soriana. You know, those are like the main kind of grocery store brands out here, and so this is where I normally shop. All right, but again, things are just more affordable here. I already know, I can see the prices. But as I was saying, buenos días. As I was saying, okay, so here at the main market, all right? So again, if you're out here and you're on a super duper tight budget and you're just trying to survive, you know, you're gonna be out here in the market, okay? As you guys can see, look at all the people bustling about. Again, it's a Tuesday today, all right? There's parking out there, and there's the market, which again, we've shown you in previous videos not too long ago, and we're gonna keep coming out here, all right? But anyway, so like I was saying, so like most of my shopping these days, most of my shopping these days is done at the major supermarkets. But many times, we do need to get, like for example, medicine for the dog. The medicine for the dog is going to be a lot more affordable. All right, medicine for the dog is going to be a lot more affordable out here, for example, or supplies for the dog, or whatever it is. Okay, certain other things as well. You know, let's say that you need a case for your phone. Sorry, it's a little loud. Let's say you need a case for your phone, a phone case. You know, let's say that you need you know, some of these things. You know, there's a bunch of things that you would come out here and you can find a lot more affordable. Now you can find this at the mall, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. You're gonna find basically everything at the mall, at the store. You're gonna find all that stuff out there as well, but it's gonna be a lot more expensive. And so now depending on what it is, will honestly depend on whether or not it's going to be worth it to you to come out here or not. So as I make a few more dollars, a few more pesos, you know, every single month, long story short, you know what I mean, I shop here less and less. And why do I shop here less and less? Well, because I don't have to go through the trouble of coming out here, shopping here, going through the traffic, going through the people, going through all that stuff. But again, for the longest time, you know, the less you have, the more you got to do to get that nut at the end of the day. You know, the less you have, the more effort you have to put into your day-to-day to really stretch that dollar. And this is how this is the things that you have to do. You know, time is money, and so you have to spend a lot of time in order to get, you know, so you can get from point A to point B. All right, by the way, these are bathrooms over there in case anyone ever needs a bathroom and they're anywhere in any city, in any area in Mexico. All right, and I like to point those out as much as I can for those that haven't or don't know about those, because a lot of people wonder, oh, what if I'm out here and I gotta use a restroom? Now you know. All right, so we're just kind of walking around the market. We're gonna keep it outside today here, but as I was saying, as you make a few more bucks, as you know, even the typical Mexican makes a few more pesos a month, well, they shop here less and less. Now again, there are many things which we come out here religiously to buy no matter what. Let's go this way, because it's just better quality, always a better price out here, so we always come out here for those things. So we're out here, you know, still pretty often, believe it or not, just not as often as we used to come out here. You know, when I first moved out here and I had nothing, man, I was in places like this all the time. I had no choice. But that's the thing. And so again, it's up to you. It's up to you know, what you're willing to put up with, what you're willing to work through, what you're willing to sacrifice, and all that other stuff is going to depend on whether or not you're going to survive out here on $1,000 a month. It's going to determine whether or not you're going to come out here with nothing and figure it out. Because again, I came out here with I only had 1,500 left to my name. All right, and with that money, I had to, you know, find a place to rent, you know, leave a deposit, find a place to rent. I needed to, you know, again, buy food. I needed to move around. Again, for anyone that's ever doing anything like this, you know that the first few days, the first few weeks, or whatever it is, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And why is it going to be a lot more difficult? Because, well, you're getting to learn the lay of the land. So you might take the wrong bus, you know, or you might get an Uber to the wrong part of town, and you might spend all this time and money that you don't have. And you're going to make mistakes like that. A lot of times you're going to be thinking, oh, they scammed me. No, they didn't scam you. You just don't know what's going on. Eventually you learn, and eventually, you know, things start working in your favor. Yeah, so these are the parts of the market we're going to have to explore in a future video. This is the back end of the market. That's right, I forgot. This market's so huge. So, and that's the thing. And so you come out here and you're going to get some of the best food in the city. All right, and it's also going to be at the most affordable prices in the city. All right, might as well just walk through here. So you're going to get the best prices. You know, you're going to get the best food, you know, out here. A lot of music. But yeah, look at that. Just tons of amazing food. So we'll come back. We'll come back another time. There's too much music for me to deal with right now. All right. So as I was saying, you know, so, you know, you have to do a lot of that. So that's where the sacrifices come in, where a lot of people don't want to do through those sacrifices. Now, again, my budget is still around $1,000 a month. And I don't shop here every day. I don't come out here every day. When I was coming out here on a regular basis, it was because my budget was really like $500 a month. Because remember, I came out here with 1,500, and I eventually had to use that money for rent, you know, for the deposit, for this, you know, all the money that I spent between Ubers and between food and this and that, all the things, all the expenses that came, you know, with all that stuff. And I didn't have much left. And so basically, you know, at that time, again, I was only working from gigs online, and I was making like around 500 a month if I was lucky. And the reality is that, you know, $500-600 or whatever. And so like with that, I had to make it work. I had to make it happen. Now I make, you know, like around 1,000. Also, the exchange rate were different. You know, it was like 1 to 16, 1 to 17 many years ago. People forget that. Then it went 1 to 20. You know, then it went 1 to 17. Then it went to 1 to 25. Then it went to, you know, like that. So look at that. These are Mennonites. They're all over. They're selling their cheese and selling their things, buying things. Flan, really good flan if you're into. All right. But I know a lot of people. I saw them in Tijuana. I saw them all over Mexico. Some people know more about the history and all that than I do. But yeah, look at this. I mean, you can get toilet paper here. You know how cheap that is? It's very cheap. Trust me. I just bought some at the Soriana. It was a lot more expensive. But that's the thing. If you buy, for example, you buy that super crazy cheap here, right? Toilet paper compared to what you're gonna buy it at the store. But you now gotta bring that with you all the way to your house. You gotta carry it with you. You know, for the most part. So. But as I was saying, guys, as I was saying, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of these little sacrifices. Now, for a lot of people, it's not a sacrifice. You know, for me, I was leaving the toxic USA. I was leaving the toxic city of back home and everything that was back home. And when I came out here, and I had to survive, which I've survived multiple times in the USA, but now I'm surviving out here, and it's every day's an adventure. Every day is fun. I'm learning. You know, I'm going through mistakes. I'm making videos. The mistakes sometimes are really, really bad and really costly. Sometimes they weren't so bad. Either way, I was always learning. We were all learning together. We were having fun. We were teaching each other. Well, actually, I was teaching you guys more than anything else. You know, some of you guys would teach me. There's a few old farts out here that they used to watch me back in the day, and they were already out here for years, so they used to show me a few things and show me around the ropes. But the reality is that I had to figure out most of it on my own. A lot of it came through trial and error. A lot of it, you know, again, because I spoke Spanish, that helped a lot. Eventually I got married to a Mexican, you know, so that also helped a lot, because again, she helped a lot with a lot of the, here, let's go through here. She helped a lot with a lot of the, you know, just figuring things out. You know, I really knew how to move around the market with her as opposed to how I was figuring it out on my own. A lot of this was very, you know, a lot of this stuff was very intimidating for me still. But, you know, coming here, you know, with her, you know, you know, coming out here with her, yeah, I'm just waving to everyone saying. Anyways, yeah, we were just through here not too long ago. But anyways, yeah, navigating this through her, you know, with her, was a lot more advantages. I had even more advantages because she was a local. She spoke the lingo, the language. She knew where to get things. That's another thing too. A lot of times I didn't know where to get things. She knew where to go, where to get it. So eventually, when I first moved out here, I was like, man, I can't find this, I can't find that, I can't find anything. And eventually I realized, oh, I can find everything out here. Are you kidding me? Everything. They have everything out here. And if I can't find it, Amazon, whatever, or bring it from Mexico City. But long story short, it wasn't just that. It was a lot of other things too. Hola, buena. Gracias. Another thing too was awesome. That was I learned very quickly when I moved out here, which put my mind at ease, because I first thought that everything was like everything you saw today. But then after like about a few weeks here, people were, you know, that I met here, because you start making friends quicker. You start making acquaintances. Long story short, people were showing me around the city. And when the first few days or weeks, I was already in the north of the city, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, this is just like back home. This is exactly like back home, you know, I'm not missing anything. So then I realized, oh, wait a minute, in order for me to really get the deals and for me to really be able to, you know, live, you know, the life that I want to live, I have to live in certain neighborhoods, and I got to live in certain areas, just like back home. The thing is that out here, they're a lot more chill and a lot more safer than, you know, certain neighborhoods back in the US, for example. But long story short, and a lot more affordable here too. But long story short, out here, you know, I realized, okay, if I live in certain neighborhoods, I can save a lot, and I can definitely have access to a lot of really good stuff and food and everything. And then at the same time, if I ever need anything, if I ever need a new battery for my GoPro, I can go to the north and go to the fancy schmancy electronics store and see if they have it, or order from Amazon. Either or. And realizing those things, and I was like, oh, well, wait a minute, I'm not really missing anything out here. In fact, the only thing I'm missing by living out here is that I am not constantly stressed out. I am not constantly, you know, dealing with all kinds of toxicity from back home. I'm just dealing with a different lifestyle, different vibe. You know, living out here in Mexico is just a completely different world. And you know, for me, I wouldn't have it any other way. Again, I still remember, you know, when I first got here and how all of this looked, and how this park was always full of vendors and all kinds of full of stuff, and how things, you know, just have changed, you know, dramatically. In fact, I'll bring you to I used to go to that, so the market that I just showed you, again, that's Lucas de Galvez. You know, we were just here again recently with David. Again, we're gonna keep coming back here to this area, showing you this market. But you know, a lot of times I always kind of walk by here and skip through it. But yeah, look how beautiful, you know, all the architecture, the buildings, everything is. But anyways, a lot of times I just show you the market, show you this area. But you know, the reality is that not only did I go to the market that was right over there a lot and get a lot of my things over there, but you know, I used to come out this way over here, and I used to go to like Soriana a lot. There's a Soriana is over there, all right? And that Soriana was the one that I used to go to a lot. But again, compared to the Soriana that I go to now, you know, the Soriana that I go to now by my house, you know, that place is like a palace. You know, that place is like a Whole Foods compared to this place. And in fact, yeah, there it is. It's still there. I was wondering, is it still there or not? So look at this park. You know, this park right here. Look at it. It's all full of people. Everybody's just enjoying the day, getting some shade, relaxing. Beautiful, beautiful. Lots of traffic. But you know, this area, all these areas always had traffic. You know, these areas are the downtown area, the craziness area. You already know. But yeah, look at that. We even got the military helping out here. Hold on, one of these. Look at that. So yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, so this is where I would come. I mean, to get certain things that you can only get at the grocery store, you know, and I would come here, right there, that Soriana, and I used to get tacos here at this place. And I gotta, you know, sometimes be careful when I'm sticking the camera in people's faces. But yeah, everything's nice and busy out here today on a Tuesday. But yeah, right over there. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going a little further, because again, I've made many videos out here before talking about this. But yeah, that's the thing. It was just like, what you end up realizing is that you just gotta enjoy the you gotta enjoy the simplicity in life. You know, that's really what it is. And for some people, they can embrace it and they totally get it, and other people, they'll never get it. They never embrace it. They never they don't want to go through the trouble. They don't want to go through, you know, certain things. You know, they don't want to live, you know, a certain lifestyle. They don't want to come through here. They might think it's dirty or icky or smelly or crowded or whatever, instead of just embracing it and taking on the adventure and being blessed, you know, to be out here and have fun and enjoy it. And that's the thing, for a lot of people that are coming out here on a super tight budget, you got to learn to embrace life like this. Otherwise, you're not going to have fun. Because if you're going to end up living in another part of the city with a bunch of expats in the middle of nowhere, far away from everything, then what are you really doing? You know, what are you really doing? You know what I mean? Are you even in Mexico? Are you even out here? Why are you out here? You know, so I don't know. I know everybody has a different reason and a different mentality on these things. You know, man, so much noise, so much noise. Oh my goodness. See, this is a noise, you know, people talk about out here, but it's not everywhere. You know, again, you got to be out here in certain parts of the city to really experience the noise. And it's funny how people turn around because it's like my voice is so loud. I go even louder than some of the microphones here. So long story short, guys, the reality is that if you embrace the lifestyle, you embrace this life out here in all the capacities, then you'll love it. Again, even if you have a lot of money, I know a lot of people out here, they got millions, okay? They're sitting pretty, right? And they still hang out in these areas. They still come out here and they eat here, drink here, buy things here, and so on and so forth. So, you know, if you are too good to experience the real Mexico, then man, you might as well just stay home. And this is the reality of it. So how did I really do it at the end of the day? Ultimately, how did I do it? Very simply, You know, I wanted it bad enough. It's as simple as that. I wanted, you know, to be free. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to, you know, live a better life. I wanted to have a better quality of life. And that's basically what it boiled down to. And so I was able to find that out here. And I know that I had to make some sacrifices here. Let's get out of the way. Stand behind this guy here. See? But yeah, long story short, it's all about that. You know what I mean? It's about embracing. It's about embracing, you know, life out here. So look, that ice cream shop there that you're gonna see right there, that was the first ice cream shop that I ever went to. And I sat over there and I enjoyed ice cream, and it was amazing, and it was awesome, and it was the best. And I'll never forget it. In fact, I even recorded it, and for everyone to always remember, not just me. It's the best ice cream, period. $1, right? Literally, that's what it costs. But yeah, long story short, the reality is that I embraced the adventure. When I came out here, and all of a sudden I realized I did not need that much money, you know, in order to pay my bills. I did not need that much, you know, in order to really survive out here. And I was able to actually thrive out here in a foreign land where I didn't know anything, where everything was very different to me, as you guys can see and have seen all video today. And I was able to just, you know, again, succeed out here, and not just succeed, but even, you know, bridge a gap, you know, kind of build a bridge for many of you guys out there. In fact, let's go this way. Let's see if we can finish up going to Centro. Hopefully the camera doesn't cut off, you know, with the heat. But long story short, I was able to trailblaze, or able to set the floor for you guys, or what is it? I'm sorry, I'm trying to not get run over. All right, here we go. And you know, able to you know, show you the way, and not just show you the way, but show so many people the way that still to today. Now look at the city, look how many people have shown up here and been here. Now again, I don't want to be the guy. I am not the guy. A lot of people always say that I am the guy that, you know, brought everybody here. I'm not the guy that brought everybody here. All right. This city has been doing a huge campaign worldwide to get people to come out here from all over the world. All right, so just keep that in mind. And you know, for me, when I came out here, I was just giving the perspective a lot of people weren't giving, and showing you guys a lot of things that people weren't showing you. And I want to continue to do that. In fact, that's all I want to do. I want to show you what no one else is showing you. And so as I see, you know, so many other people showing you the things that I've shown you before, or showing you things that others have shown you, well, it's like it's time to really, you know, embrace Merida for what it is. And I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying all these videos so far, whether it's this video that's a little trip down memory lane, or the other videos that we've done recently, you know, where we've been traveling around the state and around, you know, the peninsula, and to many other areas. And you know, we're going to continue to keep showing you, and continue to keep look at that, there's a lot of action going on at Centro over there. But yeah, you know what I mean, that's the thing. It's at the end of the day, I hope you guys are enjoying the ride along with me, because that's the thing. For the OG, you know, I know there's a lot of new followers out there, so shout out to all the new followers. But I know there's a lot of people out there, you know, that have been following me for a very, very long time. And for those of you guys that have been following me for a very, very long time, you guys know, you guys have seen my adventures, you guys have seen, you know, everything I've been throughout the years, and then some. And I plan to continue to show you more. And so yeah, you know what I mean, like you know, just as much of an adventure and as much fun as I'm having, I hope you guys are having it as well. This is why I try to bring you guys along with me along the ride, so you guys can enjoy Mexico for all its glory, just like I enjoy it. And I love it out here, and I hope you guys love it just as much as well. Look at that, what a beautiful shot, huh? So this is the new renovated Centro. They just renovated this whole area here very recently. And look at that, very nice, very nice, much improvements, very nice. Even the streets are more walkable. In fact, they're so fixed up and walkable, I almost tripped. Not used to it being so flat and taken care of. So all right, let's cross over here. And all right, we're gonna cross, gonna finish up the video right here in its Centro. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, think about it, you know, when I first came out here, you know, basically everything we walk today are things that I used to do on a daily basis. And I used to come out here all the time. Now the park has changed a lot. The center has changed a lot. The streets have changed a lot. A lot has changed, a lot. But you know what? A lot has also remained the same. All right, there's a lot of things out here that will always be here. Look at this cathedral, that's not going anywhere. And there's many things that are gonna be here for a very, very long time. And like I said, they're not going anywhere. They might get a little polished up, a little refurbished, a little cleaned up, made look better, as you guys can see here from the park. But other than that, you know, again, besides the little upgrade here or there, a lot of it remains the same. Look at that. And that's the thing, you know, for a lot of people, that's a concern as well, you know, for moving out here. Is it going to be the same? And the reality is that it's not. Things are going to change, things are going to be different, but at the end of the day, you can rest assured that this place is always going to be awesome, 100%. So with all that being said, guys, you already know the deal. Whew. It is hot. Walked over an hour today, I think, at least. Look at that, look at all the birdies, look at the beauty. Hope you guys enjoyed today's walk and talk. I know it was a bit all over the place. It's, you know, it's not as easy as it looks, but either way, I'm glad you guys were here with me, and that I got to share a little trip down memory lane, and I got to share some of my, you know, thoughts and how I got here many moons ago. So it's all right, guys. With all that being said, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Hope you guys